The Jehovah's Witnesses are not a religious organization. They're not a spiritual organization, and they're not a charitable organization. They're not a Christian organization. The Jehovah's Witnesses are a business. They're a business, and they're nothing more than a business. The death of one of their members is no different than if someone at Intel died or someone at Microsoft died. It's just the death of an employee. The only people that care, maybe, are those that are closest to the person that died. There is absolutely no interest in the well-being of any member of the Jehovah's Witness above and beyond their ability to produce hours and recruit people. Everything about them is a business model. It's a pyramid scheme. They recruit people into the cult. They mold them to recruit more people. They brainwash them to believe that they cannot exist without the organization. And the most hideous and depraved thing is they do that using as their business model Jehovah. They market Jehovah. They market everlasting life. They're selling everlasting life. They're selling nothing. They're selling hope and giving people hopelessness. They're selling life and they're giving people death. And they know that's what they're doing. But this is a billion-dollar organization. And the governing body and the shareholders don't give a flying fuck what happens to anybody in the organization as long as they produce. And if you don't produce, you're fired. Just like any company. You may call it disfellowshipping, and you can attach some moral significance to it. But you're fired. You weren't producing. You were making the company look bad. Everything about the organization is twisted and backwards. They're representing God. They use the name Jehovah. They call themselves Christians. They don't teach anything about Christianity. They deny Christ. They think their entire mission in life as a Christian is to attend meetings and knock on doors. They're a closed community and they abuse their own people. It's a business and nothing more. Like Scientology, like Mary Kay Cosmetics, like any of the other pyramid businesses out there. The money flows up. Nobody on the bottom benefits. And if they don't produce, they're fired. There will never be an ounce of sorrow or sympathy out of this business. And to expect there to be is to be deluded. And for the people within the organization that think they're Christian and that they're doing the Christian thing with their behavior, they're deluded and they're mentally ill. to shun your own people, to turn your back on your own people, to the point of allowing your loved ones to commit suicide or to stand by while they deny blood and die, which is homicide, is mentally ill. And yet they do it, and they do it every single day. This is a business. And it's a cutthroat business. And it needs to be shut down. And where the money goes, and getting at the money is the only thing that will close this business down. And for the family that lost loved ones, for the families who are abused sexually and emotionally, they need to file lawsuits and they need to go after the money. Until the money is gone, they will continue to do what they're doing. And all of the bad press that we're giving them now is making them martyrs. As long as we're talking bad without action, and the action has to be going after their money. They need to be closed down as a business. If your loved one dies as a direct consequence of policies and procedures of the corporation of the Jehovah's Witnesses, a lawsuit needs to be filed. Every time. If your marriage breaks up, if you're abused as a spouse, if your child dies, a lawsuit needs to be filed. And even if you don't win, every time their attorney has to answer a lawsuit or show up in court, that's costing them thousands of dollars just to answer the lawsuit. And that needs to happen over and over. They need to be treated as a business, not as a religion, because they are nothing more than a business. In the New Testament, it says, in the final days, that men would not have natural love and affection for one another. Now, the Jehovah's Witnesses are a perfect example of unnatural love and affection. This is not natural love and affection for one another. You don't coldly turn your back on your loved ones in a crisis situation, on your family members in a crisis situation. You stand by them, and you support them, and you love them, and you forgive them. Our commandments as Christians is to love God first, and to love one another. This is not a Christian organization. They don't obey those commandments or any other Christian commandments. It's obscene that they call themselves Christians. They are not Christians. They are a business, and they need to be treated as a business. And we need to go after them as a business, with barrage of letters to their attorneys, with lawsuits. Suck up their time and close them down. Enough is enough. Other businesses have been closed down for polluting the environment, for being illegal and immoral, and I guarantee you, if we ever get into the inner workings of their organization, we will uncover a lot more. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. There's pedophilia. I guarantee you that there's going to be financial improprieties everywhere. You know, one of the main spiritual premises that are taught in the Kingdom Hall, which I find very interesting, that Jehovah's Witnesses don't have a spirit. And so from the very beginning, they are robbed of their humanity and told they don't have a spirit. They're vacant. They're void. They're vacuous. These people are walking dead men without a spirit. They're not even entitled to a spirit. And that Christ cannot live within them, the Holy Spirit cannot live within them, that they cannot communicate in the Spirit. What does that leave them with? And then they have the watchtower as their intermediary, a business. That is obscene and twisted. And as I said, follow the money, go after the money, and close down the organization. This kind of abuse has to stop. It hurts everyone. And I know each and every one of us is devastated when we hear of a suicide. We're devastated when someone is disfellowshipped. We're devastated when someone we know loses their family because of a decision that's made. Because we care, because we love, and because we love deeply. And that's not something that they're taught in the Kingdom Hall. They are taught that they don't have a spirit. They are taught that they're special and that they're above everything and everybody. And of course, like, the world is dangerous and stay away from the world. And never mind all those starving people and sick people and dying people. Never mind them. Just be sure you go out and do your field service. Get those magazines out there. That's saving the world, right? You know, that knocking on those doors, yeah, that's all that matters. Try telling some kid that's parents are divorced and that can hardly get himself up and get dressed and go to school because his mom is working 2 jobs and there's, all kinds of social problems. But yeah, a magazine's going to save them. They want no responsibility for anything. And anybody that knows anything about the inside knows that's how they live. You know, if they can get on benefits and do full-time ministry, boy, they're doing good. No responsibility for anything or anybody. Just go to those meetings, right? Just go to those meetings. How many hours? How many hours did you put in? Punch your ticket. You know, just keep punching that ticket. You'll be saved. Works-based salvation. Works-based salvation. There's no such thing as works-based salvation. But once again, you got a religion that got people to buy it, works-based salvation. People looking for something to do. You know, I got to have something to do. Give me something to do so I can be saved. It's not enough that I'm loved and saved. You got to do something. And the harder it is, the better. That's very sick and twisted. And it's heartbreaking. It makes me angry. You know, and it's depressing. It's very depressing. You know, and I certainly understand, you know, people think that suicide may be an option. And I'm not even a Jehovah's Witness. I just live with one. So, that's my 2 cents.